Welcome back to the channel. In the previous episode, I speculated on two possible scenarios we will face in the future. The tale of two timelines, as I called it. The short and the long routes. That is, two possible avenues for humanity to reach the desired fourth and fifth density life, or new Earth. I settled on the long road to be the most advantageous route for humanity to follow, if we are permitted that luxury. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about the fourth density, to which we as humanity are currently in a transitional status from our long-term third density status. I felt it would be a good thing for viewers of this channel to know more about the fourth density and how we'll be able to acclimate to it, particularly if we have the luxury of time. That is, the second tail timeline becoming the cogent reality. However, before I launch into this detailed perspective, I need to reveal the source of the information I'll use, and it is mostly from the Ra material and the teachings of the Law of One. I use this content because it is the most comprehensive explanation of the density arrangements of the universe that I know of, and I say this in all humility, as a researcher who has done extensive research into this area of consciousness. If you remember from my previous explanations about who Ra represents and their own confession as sixth density entities, they are you and me from the future, and confess that they do not possess all knowledge on the subject, but will share what they do know, so that we can grow along the universal lines that have been appointed by the one infinite creator. Also bear in mind the fact that the Ra group is a member and an appointed delegate of the Intergalactic Federation, and in addition, outside of the group memory complex and individual form, the Ra group provides a higher self-ministry to every incumbent soul on the planet. Their desire for us, in the interest of universal oneness, is to view all other individual fractals as other selves. That is, every other person on the planet is your other self, because we are all one in principle. And therefore, with this in mind, we treat all other people in the way we would want to be treated by others. So our discussion today is about the fourth density. To explain the density structure, we may see the first density as inanimate objects, like ground, sand, stone, etc., with the lowest form of consciousness in the universe. Second density is plant, animal, fish, and bird life. The third density is that of self-aware human beings. And the fourth density is the transitional state before the fifth density, with a higher level of vibration than we enjoyed in the third density. The level of consciousness is further elevated in the fifth through sixth densities, and about midway through the seventh density, we as fractals start the process of integration with Source for entry into the eighth density. All the densities 1 to 7 of the octave correspond to the visible light spectrum, and the eighth completes the octave in a similar fashion. The octave of densities corresponds to the 7 notes on this musical scale, with a repeat of the first note to complete the octave. The fourth density is the transitional timeline that prepares us for eventual induction to the fifth density, and we have the choice, while in fourth density, to stay visible to the third in order to be of assistance, or we can remain invisible and complete the process to fifth density. Ra's statements to the questions asked by Professor Elkins provide a wonderful opportunity to learn about the fourth density dynamics. When asked about the requirement for graduation from third to fourth density, Ra's answer is somewhat complex, perhaps an effort to answer the question as simply as possible. Here's the question. You state in a much earlier session that it is necessary to polarize anything more than 50% service to self to be harvestable fourth density positive. Was this condition the same at the time before the veil? The same polarization? Question 82.29. And here's what Ra said. I am Ra. The necessity for graduation to fourth density is an ability to use, welcome, and enjoy a certain intensity of the white light of the one infinite Creator. The white light in the context of the passage within which this question was framed is indeed very complex, as there is white light that spirals upward and white light that spirals downward. But in the interests of an answer that will suffice for the listeners, let's put it this way. The white light of the one infinite Creator is the facilitation of all healing and the ability to upgrade vibration for the transcendence of density level. Ra's continued response to question 82.29 adds more detail about the faculty of faith and the part it plays in the progression from one density to another. I am Ra. Faculty of faith or will needs to be understood, nourished, and developed in order to have an entity which seeks past the boundary of third density. You may recall that I spoke about faith and I used the biblical definition from the book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1, that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. How this relates to the element of hope, which can be translated by your co-creative ability in writing the script for your future reality. More is revealed about the fourth density when the questioner asks Ra about its salient conditions. Here is the question. Thank you. Is it possible for you to give a small description of the conditions in fourth density? I'll show an itemized summary of what Ra said in response to the above question. I am Ra. We can only explain what is not and approximate what is. Beyond fourth density, our ability grows more limited still until we become without words. I itemize Ra's response with points 1 through 5. Point 1. That which fourth density is not. It is not of words unless chosen. Point 2. It is not of heavy chemical vehicles for body complex activities. Point 3. It is not of disharmony within self. Point 4. It is not of disharmony within peoples. Point 5. It is not within limits of the possibility to cause disharmony in any way. There follows an approximation of positive statements about the plane of fourth density. I am Ra. Point 1. It is a plane of a type of bipedal vehicle which is much denser and more full of life. It does not have your heavy chemical vehicles or body. Point 2. It is a plane wherein one is aware of the thoughts of other selves. Point 3. It is a plane of compassion and understanding of the sorrows of third density. Point 4. It is a plane striving toward wisdom or light. Point 5. It is a plane wherein individual differences are pronounced, although automatically harmonized by group consensus. Point 6. It is a plane of revealed information. That is, selves are not hidden to self or other selves. The imbalances of distortions, which are of a destructive nature, show in more obvious ways, the body acting as a mechanized response for self-revelation. Point 7. When sickness is present, it is easily healed. Illnesses such as cancer are amenable to self-healing once the destructive influence has been grasped by the individual. There is a tangible evidence of this, established in the Dolores Cannon quantum healing hypnosis technique through the use of what is called soul speak. Illnesses are seen as body messages from the subconscious, messages that need to be examined and acted upon before the healing can be actualized. So, my dear viewers, all in all, fourth density offers some mystery as well as some tangibles. You can study all this for yourself, and I encourage this. If you go to my website, you can access the links to LL Research, from whom you can purchase the raw material books. It'll be well worth